Welcome to Smiley Toon TV, the place where creativity meets joy. We explore fascinating ideas, ignite your imagination, and spark positive thinking, all with a smile. Ready to embark on a fun journey of discovery? Let's get started and fill your mind with happiness and inspiration. Imagine two siblings, Mia and Max, who shared almost everything. They had the same toys, attended the same school, and even lived in rooms decorated with the same colorful posters. Despite their shared world, Mia and Max saw challenges quite differently, a truth that would come to light during an event they would always remember as the twin test. It was a bright autumn morning when their teacher announced an upcoming science challenge. The task was simple enough on the surface: construct a bridge out of popsicle sticks and glue that could hold as much weight as possible. Excited whispers bounced around the classroom. The winner would receive a special medal, and everyone's bridges would be tested in front of the whole school. That afternoon, the siblings hurried home, science kits in hand. Eagerly, they spread their supplies on the kitchen table, a forest of popsicle sticks, bottles of glue, and visions of sturdy bridges dancing in their heads. Yet almost immediately, their approaches revealed their differences. Mia, ever the optimist, saw the project as a thrilling puzzle. She sketched designs, tested how the sticks fit together, and was quick to laugh if something collapsed. To her, each failed attempt was a lesson, a clue about what to try next. When her first bridge bowed under a stack of books, she grinned and said, "Cool, let's see what happens if I add triangles underneath." Max, however, approached the challenge with caution. He remembered last year's egg drop experiment, where his contraption failed and classmates had giggled. Determined not to repeat that embarrassment, he aimed to get his bridge just right on the first try. When the first structure he built fell apart, Max sighed in frustration. "I can't do this," he mumbled. "I'm just not good at science." Their parents watched the two at work. Mia's side of the table was littered with half-glued ruins and doodles of possible supports. Max's side was tidy, his hands resting in his lap as he stared at his neat pile of unused sticks. "Mia, are you sure it's okay to mess up so many times?" their father asked gently, picking up a failed attempt. "Of course," Mia beamed. "Every time I start over, I learn something new. Maybe this time my bridge will be stronger." Max shook his head. "But what if it isn't? I don't want to mess up in front of everyone." Their mother crouched beside Max. "What would happen if you tried a few different things? You don't have to get it perfect right away." Max frowned. He couldn't shake the worry that failure meant he wasn't cut out for these kinds of challenges. Still, he watched Mia, who was taping her bridge back together with a focus that looked almost fun. Reluctantly, he slid some sticks in her direction. "Can I help you build yours?" Mia nodded eagerly, and together they nestled sticks into new shapes. Max pointed out a weak spot, surprised when Mia welcomed his idea. "Great catch! Let's fix it," she said. For the first time, he realized that making mistakes together made the work lighter and more interesting. Finally, test day arrived. Bridges of all shapes stood waiting in the classroom, some tidy, others wild and experimental. The teacher began the weight tests one by one. Some bridges snapped quickly, their builders shrugging or snickering. Others held strong, stacking books like miniature giants. When it was time for Mia's bridge, shaking hands placed it on the testing platform. The first book, then the second, then the third, each one pressing down as the bridge creaked and swayed, but held firm for longer than anyone expected. Max watched in awe. The bridge he and Mia had built together held until the final book finally broke it with a dramatic snap. The room burst into applause, and both siblings grinned, their eyes shining with pride. Later, Max thought back on the process. He remembered his frustration after his early failures, and how Mia's attitude had turned setbacks into lessons. He realized something important. Mia didn't see her abilities as set in stone. She believed she could get better by trying and learning. That belief fueled her willingness to experiment, to risk failure, and to keep improving. Max, on the other hand, had been so afraid to prove his limits that he almost missed the chance to grow. Their teacher gathered the class, holding up the battered bridges like trophies. "Each of these represents more than just sticks and glue," she said. "They show us how we face challenges. Some people think, 'I can't do this,' and stop trying. Others think, 'I can't do this yet,' and keep pushing. The difference is simple but powerful. It's about believing you can grow." That night, lying in bed, Max asked Mia, "How do you not get upset when things go wrong?" Mia rolled over, thinking, "I guess I believe that being good at something just takes practice. Remember how I couldn't ride my bike last year? Now I can, because I kept falling and getting back up. I don't get upset when I make mistakes, because I know that's how I learn." Max smiled in the darkness. Maybe he could see mistakes that way too, not as the end, but as the beginning of learning something new. From then on, whenever he faced something tough, Max whispered to himself, "I can't do this yet." It was just one word, but it changed the way he felt about challenges. So, what can we learn from the twin test? Our beliefs shape our behaviors. If you believe your abilities are fixed, you might avoid challenges or give up after a setback. But if you believe that you can grow and improve, you'll face obstacles with curiosity and courage. Every experiment, every practice, every single try, even failures, become a step forward. Remember, each of us starts somewhere. Whether it's building bridges with popsicle sticks, learning a new language, or trying out a sport, growth comes from effort, from trying and failing, and from believing, most importantly, that you can get better. So next time you're faced with something difficult, channel your inner Mia, laugh, learn, and know that with each step, you're growing stronger. After all, every skill, every talent, every bit of progress begins with the belief that you can. Because with a growth mindset, every test is an opportunity, and every mishap, just the first step on the road to something amazing. Thanks for tuning in to Smiley Toon TV. If you enjoyed today's journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to keep the smiles coming. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this adventure going together. Stay positive, keep smiling, and let your mind wander.